This is a topic that definitely is all in the news, right? Well, all of our lives, all lives matter to me. Those little
Are you
children
saying
we,
timer?
pardon me?
Sorry, how
Oh.
long is your speech?
8 to 10.
8 to 10.
The little children we see late night on the TV where their poor little heads are bigger than their bodies because they're malnourished. And the other children that, I forget the country, and they have a cleft palate and a cleft lip. I just think you all are special. You're all special to me. And we are allegedly a civilized country, right? We're not Africa or Kenya where we still have tribes, which they're civilized within themselves, or these other countries that fight amongst themselves. We're supposed to be a civilized country. But you know, lately it really doesn't feel like we are a civilized country. And I've lived here 56 years. And I've seen a lot, and lately I've seen a lot I don't like. And we are not like the countries we see on the news in the evening, where we kill for whatever reason. We are not like that, and we've got to make that change. For example, okay, you and I, Barat, are a different color. I put my pants on like this, you put your pants on like that?
I do.
If you cut, do you bleed?
Yeah.
Okay. Same here. James, you too?
Mm-hmm.
So what's the big deal about color? I don't understand why there is a big deal about color or nationality or religion. Well, why can't we just all get along? Kindergartners do it. They don't know the difference. I asked a friend's daughter, she was talking about this little girl, and I said, Steph, I don't know that little girl in your class. Is she a neighbor? No, she's in my class. I said, I don't know. Well, she's the little brown girl. She didn't know. She just knew her color skin was a little bit different than hers. So we've got to make a change here, and that's what I want to talk to you guys about. Okay, are you familiar, other than the holiday, are you familiar at all with Dr. Martin Luther King?
Yes.
Yes? He was a great activist. Civil rights. Wanted right for everyone. And he left us too soon. He also, prior to his assassination, there had been another attempt by a lady, Iozla Curry. She was a black lady that was the daughter of sharecroppers. She walked up to him and asked if he was Dr. King. He was at a book signing. He was Dr. King, and he said yes. She said, I've been looking for you for 5 years. And she stabbed him near his heart with a letter opener. It was just probably a hair away from his aorta. They said if he would have sneezed before they got him into surgery, he would have died at that time. So he continued to live, and I know you guys like me to read this. So he's a Baptist minister, an activist, and a leader. Come on in, Amy. And he used nonviolent civil disobedience based on his Christian beliefs. His faith was strongly based in Jesus' commandment of loving your neighbor as yourself, loving God above all, and loving your enemies, praying for them and blessing them. He was a big believer in turn the other cheek. Well, that is not the easiest thing to do, is it? We really have to force ourselves not to come back to whoever we feel offended us with, you know, it's difficult. Turn that other cheek. But I always try and remember that that's what Dr. King wants us to do. What I found that he said is, before I was a civil rights leader, I was a preacher of the gospel. This was my first calling, and it still remains my greatest commitment. You know, actually, all that I do in civil rights, I do because I consider it a part of my ministry. I have no other ambitions in life but to achieve excellence in the Christian ministry. I don't plan to run for any political office. I don't plan to do anything but remain as a preacher. And what I'm doing in this struggle, along with many others, grows out of my feeling that the preacher must be concerned about the whole man. So not only do I think Dr. King was the greatest, he was also incredibly intelligent. He skipped 9th grade, he skipped 12th grade, and went straight to Morehouse. He didn't plan to be a minister like his great-grandfather, his grandfather, or his dad. But there was a theologian at Morehouse that spoke with him and got him to go into the ministry. And he was ordained as a minister before he ever graduated with his sociology degree. But when did we, as a country in the United States, when did Dr. King's legacy stop being important to us? When did that change? Well, we all know that our society is kind of me, right? We're not about us anymore like Dr. King was. How did that happen? Why did that happen? I don't know, but we need to make that change. It should not be me. I see it every morning as I'm driving all the way up George Bush Highway, and people are, like crazy, like they are on fire trying to get to a piece of water. It's just unreal. But as our country changed, we all had to change as well. We've had to educate our children, unfortunately. Stranger danger. Run if a car stops. You have to give them code words or a phrase if they're at a friend's house or they're out at the mall and they feel threatened in any way. And not to trust people that contact you on social media. We've educated ourselves after September 11th. Look at the problems we have going through security at the airport. We had to educate ourselves there. We have to pay attention to our surroundings now. We have to report anything suspicious, even if it turns out to be okay. We still need to do that. Even in our workplace, haven't things changed? Fraud, waste, and abuse. Oh my goodness. Bribery, ethics, business conduct. Everything has changed. But let's be a part of the solution through education. We cannot make changes in those police departments that are running rampant. We can't make changes there, but we can make changes. We can be proactive. Let's teach all of our children, young men and women, what to do if stopped by the police. Put the car in park. Turn off the radio. Roll down your window. Place your wallet, billfold on the dashboard. Place your hands on the steering wheel. If you have a weapon and you have a permit for a weapon, once the officer is at your window, tell him. Your passenger needs to put their hands on the dashboard. Your backseat passenger puts their hands on the seat in front of them. If it's at night, turn on that dome light. If instructed to get out of the car, follow all those directions. And be respectful. It isn't easy when you're being pulled over. Even I know that. I speed and I got a red light ticket not long ago. And keep the inside of your car clean of clutter, so there is they don't think, okay, under that jacket could be anything. We have to teach this. It's sad. We shouldn't have to, but we have to teach it to all of our children, our adults. As I was trying to write this speech and reading the Washington Post and the New York Times, I came across this article. Activist A.J. Bohannon had organized more than 1,000 Black Lives Matter protesters to march the streets of Wichita, Kansas last Sunday. Days before, he received a call from the new police chief with a different idea, a cookout. When Bohannon first announced they were having the cookout instead of the march, some people pushed back. We don't want to eat pork with the pigs, they told him. Why are we shaking hands with the people tearing this neighborhood apart? Bohannon urged them to consider if they did not want to be judged by the color of their skin, then they could not judge the entire law enforcement profession by the bad actions of a few. Do I believe that bad people join the police department in order to do these things? You better believe I do. Just like pedophiles become teachers or paraprofessionals at a school. I just saw a new headline that another priest, I'm hoping that those people don't join the church just to be able to do that. But it's unfortunate. Bad people are doing these things. And this is one from Michael Jordan. The topic, I think, of the article was he finally spoke out. We are privileged to live in the world's greatest country, a country that has provided my family and me the greatest of opportunities. The problems we face didn't happen overnight, and they won't be solved tomorrow. But if we all work together, we can foster greater understanding, positive change, and create a more peaceful world for ourselves, our children, our families, and our communities. And that's what we need to do. We need to be part of that change. I have witnessed people that go to church every time that blasted door is open, spout things they shouldn't be spouting. So, I'm not very shy, so I said, you need to listen and open your heart the next time you go to church, because you're missing the sermon. what they are trying to teach you, you're missing it. So you either need to not go each time or you need to listen more. So if you know people that are prejudiced or biased, talk to them. We are coming to Toastmasters to be leaders, so we need to do that. I don't want you to be confrontational. I just want you to try to have a conversation with them. They may not even, unfortunately, be aware. This may be something that was passed down generation to generation, and they're not even conscious of it. They're just spouting what they have heard. So please just try to casually talk to them and make them aware and ask them why they feel like this. It may be that they say, oh, I don't know. Could be. Knowledge is power. If they don't know, if they're not aware, then they don't do any different. It's a cycle that is just repeated. So if we are all just individually hanging out, doing nothing, going our different ways, we're not very powerful. But if we stick together and try to make a change, we are very powerful. We can be heard. We can make a difference. So pray for these people you know that may be prejudiced, may be biased, that their ways are changed and their eyes are open. Thank you.